underdress.
Yo, bro.
You were gonna underdress, bro.
What day is it today?
Right up Sunday, baby.
Huzzah. We're going, bread up, episode, I don't even know, we're back at it. After 2 months, Julian? 2 months?
2 months of
grinding.
Just grinding something else that we'll get into in a little bit, but it feels good to be back. And
For sure.
Talking
And if you're watching this, you might notice someone's on here, but we have a new guest. Introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Jacob Hauge, good friend of these two, and yeah.
Yeah, so our big goal with this podcast is to make it way more casual and not as preachy and not as teachy, but more conversational through that. That's what we were just talking about right before we hit record. And our goal by doing that is bringing people that are bettering their lives, that have been established or going to establish themselves soon, that are all young, you know, Julian, like people like right here, one of our first guests now. We had a few months ago, we have Jacob Caruso, Bryce Allen on the show, crypto traders teaching us about crypto. We learned so much about it. But our guest today, Jacob Hauge, talk a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I grew up in Temecula. It's kind of boring over there, but I love to skate and act. I'm a college student at Cal State San Marcos, and yeah, I'd love to be a filmmaker someday. Just, trying to take one step at a time.
Yeah, and I think that most people who watch this, they probably think that, all we do maybe is just trade stocks and, maybe cryptocurrency and work out, and they might just think that that's all we do.
Don't get us wrong, that's what we do. But we also do other things.
We actually do. What we've been doing for the last month is actually working on a film for a while now. That's we were actually able to shoot and edit a trailer for that's out right now. And Hauge right here, he starred in the film as one of the characters. So did Lucas.
I did indeed.
Me and Lucas and another friend of ours, we actually wrote the film and scripted it out. I didn't play anyone, but I filmed a lot of it, and yeah, and that's something we want to talk about a little bit today. And Hauge is, very interested in acting, along with...
Well, before we go into it, we had to establish our relationship to Jacob here. I mean, I knew you through Julian here. You guys worked together at the same work, and we just finished a film, like you said, together, where we both co-starred with each other as well, and that was an incredible experience, bro.
Great experience.
It was so much fun. That was such a lot of fun to play with you. But that was like your first, like, real film, right? Like real, like with director and then there's camera assistants and there's directions and a huge script, right? Like, what was that for you? Like, how did you feel doing that, getting that opportunity?
It was eye-opening. I'm glad I did some of the research first. Could kind of see what it's like on set. So I was kind of like coming prepared. But it definitely helped for future hindsight. I had never had that experience. I had a lot of acting classes, but nothing direct. So.
Yeah. And like when I first met you, like this is about 2.5 years ago, Julian, that you introduced me to Hauge?
Yeah, right about two and a half years ago.
Yeah, I didn't really first thing go, oh, this guy's an actor. Or you didn't even tell me that. You didn't even really say that. Like, what got you into acting? Like, what got you starting doing it? So I think everyone's origin story of how they do something is freaking
just
awesome.
Movies and like, the motivation to, pursue something I love doing, and I think I've always loved acting, middle school, even elementary, I would do like little things here and there, but it never really resonated with me completely until like high school, and even then I was still kind of scared, unsure of myself to, am I really going to be able to do this? Like a million people want to do this too, billions of people, but, But, I think skating, I had that in high school. I got to, have that luxury of like learn like a 4-year skate lesson as opposed to high school. Like skating was, my lesson as opposed to anything academically, and maybe I was never really academically inclined, and skating really teaches you to fall and get back up, as corny as that sounds. It's true, you know, and you have to, it's like perfecting your lines. It's like you have to perfectly land and execute every single trick, right? And it's like things that you don't think is possible. It just takes a couple moments of like confidence and just knowing that you could do it for just a few seconds, and then you'll be able to do it and land a trick. It's like the same, So.
Yeah, so it's like basically the disciplines you learn skating it's kind of, you're kind of taking and dispersing it into performances and acting and filmmaking and writing and whatnot. The same disciplines. I find that like so interesting because me and Julian used to play basketball together. And I think that like a lot of disciplines you learn, competitive sports is so applicable. That's why like competitive sports are awesome to play. You know, at least something that you take competitively or, you know, serious. It's the same principles that can be transmuted to like anything. But was there like a moment, like I feel like there was a moment that you went, oh, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to start doing this. Was there a movie or something?
You know, I think that was when I started kind of, it was probably the pandemic, you know, as much as, you know, I don't want to say that. It probably was, because even in the beginning of college, you know, I was doing theater and stuff, but it wasn't like fully clicked, you know. I was kind of like, maybe I should do communications, you know, taking that safe way out or whatever it is, but, you know, believing myself a little more, doing a little more research, going to film school, you know, just finding my resources, and I just loved it, you know, more than anything else, more than skating, you know, like in this short amount of time, I love something way more than skateboarding, which I've been doing for like 5+ years,
right?
You know, so it's just incredible, and, you know, seeing like new movies every time, it just amazes me. Filmmaking and acting, it's like, I want to do that shit, you know what I mean, type of thing, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I couldn't say I predicted it, but I remember you would be posting skate TikToks. Yeah. And then you would do like crazy stuff in a store. I remember like 2 years ago, you like were like in a Walmart with us, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna like, can you film me up for this TikTok? I'm gonna do this funny thing in Walmart. Like I'm gonna start like throwing stuff around or something. But like those bursts of character, I think, you know, that's kind of what acting is putting on a show. It really is. You know, it's kind of embodying something, some sort of artwork, and I think that's kind of like, for me, to my perspective, I think that's how you kind of started right there, you know? So, I think you kind of like translated your skating into the acting, you know?
Yeah, and especially on the film that we made.
Yeah.
You know, it was, the film that we made is around skateboarding, modern day 2021 high school kids. And, you know, he fit the perfect role for that with his ability to like skate and, you know, his love for acting at the same time. And like that's when you can really mix two of your favorite things together and, you know, fully deliver something that's great. And that's what, that's what he did.
Craziest thing in the casting process of this movie. I'm not going to say anybody in specific, but your role was going to be for a completely different person. You know, like it was, and in retrospect, like so happy we didn't get that person. It didn't work out.
I'm just thankful to be even like in the project at all. You
Dude,
know, so.
it was crazy because I remember like, who's gonna play Chaz? We had an idea for this one person. This one person is kind of iffy, you know. And then Julian's like, Hauge, Jacob Hauge. I'm like, dude, yes, does that guy want to be an actor as well? And he skates. I'm like, dude, let's get this guy in the movie, right? And I remember me and Benji had a list notes of all people we wanted to be part. And at this point, the script was barely even freaking written, and your name was on there. And I'm like, dude, yes, we need to get him in the movie because he can skate, he can act, he wants to do this. Let's get him in. And dude, you killed it. Dude, you killed it.
I'm really happy and lucky to have been part of this, you know, because, you know, I just finished film school and then just wrapped up, and I was like, what am I gonna do now, you know? And then, you know, I get a call from you, and like right when I'm finishing, I'm like, wow, you know, like it's crazy how things happen. Like, you know,
it just worked out.
It just, you know, like before film school, just practicing monologues and scripts every night, just by myself, you know, getting started. Film school, and then wow, this opportunity, wow, you know, just about being prepared in that moment. And I was just really stoked. I remember
it's kind of like if you weren't prepared to see the opportunity, you know, then you wouldn't have gotten it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're kind of like stuck in your own self, because I feel like a lot of teenagers, you know, are so worried about what other people are thinking about them. Oh, how's it gonna look if I do this movie? Because Julian, do you remember when we were trying to get these like girls to be a part of it? I don't know if you're part. I don't know if you're part of the casting process.
Yeah.
But like, because you kind of came in near the end of the casting process, right when the script was getting like finalized in its original format. But dude, we were gonna get these two girls. I'm not gonna name names again, just, you know, for sake of their privacy. But they were like so iffy on it. It was making us feel like, is our work not good enough? And I realized it is good enough. But these people don't see opportunity because they're not ready for it, you know. But someone like you goes, dude, yes, this script is great. I'm in. And your role, Chaz, in the movie grew so much.
Yeah, I didn't expect that at all.
You know? Like,
yeah, no, and that's what I was just about to say is Chaz's character, like, you know, coming on set first day versus like the last day, it was like, you know, like insane progress. And, you know, like the character development throughout the movie, it was just perfect. The way that, you know, I was seeing it before it was shot, you know, it came out exactly how we
because what you and Benji did a really good job of in the rewrites of the script was identifying these characters. Some of them are a little stale. We need to spice them up. We need to add more flavor. And which is interesting is because I can sense in the original script, the first days we were shooting, your character, you were kind of figuring out who was this guy.
Yeah.
You know? But it would have been a completely different character if you had all these lines on the first day, not knowing who the character was. But by the end of it, you had all the lines, and you knew very well who Chaz was.
Seriously.
It worked out so well. You know, and I think, in the editing room, I think you can speak for it. It's looking good on screen right now.
Yeah, and that's exactly what, I'm editing it right now, and it's coming out great. And, Lucas, I just wanted to, ask you a couple things about your character, because I'm very interested on your take, because you want to be an actor just as much as
definitely
every other actor that wants to be an actor. And you played a role that you're not that familiar with as a person versus someone like Hauge.
And just to give some context for some people viewing, I'm in this film as well. Everyone around this table right here, produced, wrote, or acted in this movie. Just to give them context, but that's how that went down. But yeah, keep it.
And Lucas's character was, he was playing someone completely unlike his personality and unlike what his hobbies were. He doesn't skate or anything like that, and he had to play a skater kid in the film. So I just wanted to know how you took that on right away.
Well, I mean, I knew one of the first things when we were writing this movie with Benji in the original stages, because this was way before you even came on board to this. This is the original. I said I wanted to play a character that was very real. Those grungy movies. There's a movie called Good Time, I think, or something by. It's Robert Pattinson's in it.
Yeah,
it's a very naturalistic guy, and I think there's there's no script or there's script, but it's a lot of it's improv. I wanted some really grungy, some character, because I did a little mini series called Getting Harry, and if you guys know me, if people watching this know me, they know the show. And this is some comedic guy who he's it's marketable, but he's not some grunge acting guy. I knew I wanted to play some character that I can just become maybe some sick guy, someone dealing with a terrible childhood, bad parents, something crazy.
Which is what an actor really needs to be good at,
I call them Oscar roles, even though this isn't an Oscar role, but it's roles that it's really you have to become someone else, you have to go someone so different from you. But also what was cool about Boss, which is the character I play in the movie, is he's a group of people that I didn't like in high school, and I would never talk to. But I knew who these people were. I knew who this guy was somehow. I met him at a party or something, at some previous life or something. And I don't know, playing it was freaking awesome. And you and Benji rewrote the script a lot, you made Voss into someone that is so different from me, but yet it worked so well.
Yeah, almost like the antagonist you played.
Kind of a little bit of an antagonist, like a dark parallel to Cody, who's the lead in the movie. Like a dark parallel, like someone insidious, but what was going on in your life when you got the call to be a part of this?
Dude, I mean, like I said, I ended film school. I was looking, what's the next step? Get headshots. Actors access. Just try to get an agent.
Yeah.
But this came in. I was like, wow, this is way more of a luxury than I can do. I can, that can go on hold a little bit. And I can do this right now, and then
because I feel some stuff I think because we're both in the same boat, in acting and stuff. You look at Actors Access, look at casting networks. A lot of the roles on there are complete just dog shit. They're terrible. There's so many. There's you see the same ones I do sometimes.
Yeah.
It's what is this? Do I want to submit to this?
Yeah.
But then I think that's why making your own content for people listening or watching this. If you want to get into entertainment, if you want to make music, whatever, make a business, just start doing it. Don't wait for it. Just start making it. And I think that's what you and Julian right now are doing. You're in the works of creating something right now. I know that, right?
Yeah, something that's true to ourselves.
For sure. We'll keep it on the DL. I'm not going to promote too much, but no, as you've talked about off camera to me, it's an incredible idea. But that's what you have to do. I feel Jacob.
You just gotta. What you have a passion for, like you said, if you love acting, and what I love is writing down ideas and writing down scenes potentially to be in a movie. And if you just enjoy doing that, find people that can fill in other gaps in that process. And that's how we came out with what we came out with. These guys are actors. This guy's also a producer in a way.
Yeah.
I know a lot about social media, and I'm really creative, and I wrote a lot of these new scenes in the film. And once you mix all that together, you can really just literally make something that's amazing, and it's already kind of coming into fruition as we speak.
I like to think of it this way: when you have a goal, you want to do something. I think the big thing, anyone listening or watching this, find. It sounds like a super tough question, but it's really not. Simple but tough. Find what you want to do. Find your purpose. Find what you want to be creating, what you want to be giving, And once you focus on that, you'll, for some weird reason, I don't know if it's because like you're identifying opportunities differently, you start coming into contact with people that have like-minded interests. Like, I would have never really come across you as like a good friend to you, because before, like, you were friends of Julian, but then once you started getting into acting, I'm like, oh, you know, this can be a very symbiotic relationship, and you know, you've grown so much since we first met, I think.
Yeah, definitely, dude.
You know, that's what the craziest heart is.
Yeah, I used to be like a crazy people pleaser, you know. I you know, going back to what we said earlier, like, I used to fall into that category, you know. For so long I wanted to be a people pleaser and do what other people wanted me to do, but, you know, I think that's also, like, go back to your question about how did you finally figure out, like, you know, acting is it. That's, you know, there it is. It's you know, being true to myself and, you know, what I want to do instead of what anyone else wants me to do, you know.
Right. And I'm interested because I think that like the answer is always different for everybody that does acting. Like, I know mine, but what for you do you love about the acting part? Because I know you are writing scripts right now, right? And you obviously, I think, do you want to direct one day possibly?
Dude, yes.
Yes. So you definitely maybe have a heart of a director type of thing. You
Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
But what about, like, acting? Like, do you love about it? You know, like, what in it? Because I feel like there's some innate thing that the answer's always different.
I mean, you know, I just walking around anywhere, you see, like, the craziest type of people, the craziest characters, and you're like, wow, I can really pull off some kind of, you know, either realistic or totally exaggerated form of this. You know, I see, like, these amazing performances on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, one of the best ones I mentioned, you know, it's a comedic movie, American Pie. Stifler, played by Sean William Scott.
Yeah.
It is incredible. It's exactly one kind of person that like everyone's met. You know,
Yeah.
and to play that role would be so fun. You know, I mean, that's it. You know, just taking the traits of realistic people and putting it into something else and making it your own is just, I think that's the most fun it gets.
And also, just talking to you, I think Julian can agree with this. And I feel like you like those raunchy comedies,
Yeah,
like well-made raunchy comedies, not
Yeah.
like the terrible raunchy comedies, but like the American Pie. You also like. I know you're a huge fan of Scott Pilgrim, bro. Scott Pilgrim. Yeah.
That's more like stylistic.
Yes,
but
style.
That's my favorite movie of all time. You know,
Yeah.
for so many reasons. But yeah, I do like raunchy, you know, comedies every once in a while. Like, I have a special place in my heart. You know.
I think it's cool that, you know, in what makes films, one of the most unique things about anything is there's just absolutely no boundaries or rules for anything. Anything you think of, you can make into a scene and like create that idea. Literally, like anything you could think of, especially now with, you know, 3D animation. You know, you can make anything you think of. There's no limit to what you can film.
And what's great about it, to add on to that, what's great about it is the distribution has completely changed. I mean, I don't think we could be doing what we're doing 10 years ago, just with the limited equipment, right? With how expensive cameras were. No social media. I mean, what's going to drive when the bell rings is social media and, you know, using our available resources online. I mean, before it's like you needed studio permission, you needed private equity funding, right? But you don't need to do that anymore. I mean, you still need that if you want to make a bigger budget film or, you know, show. But like, that's what people have to understand. If you want to get into filmmaking now, I think that, like, you can do it. You can do it on your own. I mean, you have to work way harder than the rest to make it successful and to make it good. But it comes down to, like, your vision, you know. And I'm sure, you know, whatever project anyone might be working on, it's like it comes down to what you want and your vision on it.
Yeah, if you love something, you're going to be able to create the best possible product of it. It might not be the same way like you had it like when you first started the vision, but, you know, ultimately that product is going to end up somehow, it's going to be good no matter what. You know? If you really love it and you're really true about it, and no matter what anyone else thinks, you're going to love that. Like, even if it's not the same exact how you wanted it, you know, it's like...
That's exactly right. And I think that the industry is changing completely now. Like, the industry is, like, changing so much with streaming that, like, blew the cap off everything. You no longer used to compete for, like, time slots on TV. You only had a theatrical window, right, for releases. Now it's like, I can get my movie made whenever the hell I want, and I can release it whenever the hell I want.
And you can shoot it right on this.
And you can shoot it right on
if you want to, and it's already better than the quality of movies in the theaters. Not even 10, maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, that's just facts. And you can make a film on this right here with everything.
If you're listening, he's holding up an iPhone.
It's an iPhone.
Or a smartphone.
It's a 12, right?
Yeah.
12, yeah.
And if the camera quality on phones, most basic phones now, are better than film cameras 10 years ago. So if you want to make a film, if you want to make music or do anything, there's technology, and now is the easiest time to actually do it than it ever was.
Yeah.
If you want to do it.
Like, it's a short investment into like one of these. It's like $1,300 to get an iPhone 12 Pro Max, and literally they have Dolby Vision in it. Like that's insane. That how like it's like a working with aliens or something. Because seriously, man, like. We had like what flip phones like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember being in 6th grade. I had like a little Samsung flip phone.
The BlackBerry.
Yeah.
The BlackBerry.
And now I'm holding this essentially a small budget movie camera. Like it's Dolby Vision. That's insane. So I just.
And if you're really young, in 10 years from now, I'm pretty sure you'll be able to film like a full film on your fingertip. It would be like hold your finger up and just like film the whole movie in yourself.
Cameras are crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just learning how to fund your own projects and stuff and doing it in a variety of different ways. And then I think that there's nothing stopping anyone from getting into making movies, directing, writing, acting, whatever it is,
And if you have no friends that do anything that you're interested in, go on Instagram is a great technique, and or LinkedIn and looking up just whatever industry you do, like acting, films, like who's in doing movies in San Diego. I guarantee you'll get people.
We're in San Diego, by the way.
We'll reach out to you, and you'll meet just with social media, and that's how you can meet people that write films or act. If you have an idea or know how to use a camera or have mics, anything like that.
And like the more projects you do, I think it's important to notice. The first project's going to be the hardest project you ever do, especially if you've never done a film or a show or anything before, because you won't know anybody. You don't know anybody, so you have to find people. Once you do the first project, the second project's a little bit easier than the first project because you know more people, know more connections. Then the third project, I feel like, is a little bit easier than the second and first project. And as you do more, it'll get easier and easier in terms of finding the resources you need. Now that's completely different than making the actual creative vision of it. Like writing it is like that never goes away. That's hard.
Yeah,
that's the hard part. But I'm talking about the making of it,
right?
The connections and the resources. I feel like is like. That's the tough part, because it's like I have this great script. Like everyone's like, I have this great script, but like it doesn't do anything except collect dust if you don't know anyone that can help.
It gets easier to like fix issues as time goes on. You kind of are more knowledgeable about fixing those little errors than like blocking points. Yeah. But what were you just saying a second ago about? What was it?
Getting resources, people.
Yeah, going on Instagram.
The social media. I really like that you said that because that's really true. If you don't have no friends, I grew up in Temecula, out of all places. You guys know this. I mean. It's not to put anyone down, but it is degrading sometimes. I grew up in high school with them, and nobody could resonate with what I wanted to do. Everyone was so adamant about their college or their frat they wanted to go to, drinking at parties, parties or whatever it was.
Which goes for like the rest of life. I feel like
it was instant gratification. It was just about proving themselves almost. And I used to fall into that crowd, and I still see that happen. That's where I really try to, I'm doing the same thing. I'm being a hypocrite right now. I need to be true to myself, and my life has been so much better ever since,
that's awesome,
living for me. But awesome. Like if you're in a town in my situation like that, don't be like me, like and get started like ahead of time, like seriously, like social media. If you get to meet people that are into the same things as you, you'll be surprised at how compassionate they are and how like willing they are to work with you and how nice they are as compared to what you had before in high school or whatever it is, middle school, whatever it is, like. Yeah. You guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I also think a quick note is like people make it cute. Well, I live in Idaho. There's no filmmaking in Idaho. Don't give me that shit. There's filmmaking in Idaho. You are the filmmaking in Idaho. Make it happen. If you have an idea for it, guess what? There's filmmaking in Idaho.
Film about some potatoes.
Yeah, well, like you're in Minnesota, whatever. You might not think it's a hub for entertainment, but guess what? If you have a script, you have an idea, you know a director, you have 5 actors. All of a sudden, yes, you can filmmake in Minnesota.
Like even like the weirdest like things that you would be into. There's like thousands of people like on Reddit. If I'm on Reddit a lot, and like. That's just like one way you can literally find 1,000 people that are like just as like interested in like a weird thing as you are, and then you can like talk to them about it, or if they're local, you meet up with them and actually like do something with it, and or if it's like film or music, and you just you can create something with.
Because I feel like some people like what scares them in doing art for a living is like, well, no one's gonna be into like whatever art I do. No one's gonna be into the kind of songs I make or like the movie. Like, this movie's cool for me, but like, will anyone else like it? Trust me.
Yeah, seriously.
People will like it.
There's always sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. Keep it up.
Like 8 billion people on this earth almost, and you gotta think, you can't just think that no one's gonna like it, right? Like there could be like you might think that nobody likes badminton or like ribeye steaks or something. You know, I'm sure like tons of people love that shit. But like, come on, like to make a whole movie about it, there's at least 1 million people that watch a movie about a ribeye steak.
Yeah,
you know, it's crazy. Like what
I
you're
mean,
saying.
the best motivating thing you can do is go on Amazon Prime. Just go on Netflix, actually. You don't even go on Amazon Prime. And just scroll through the movies that have been made already. Just do that. And you'll go, whoa, this was actually financed and funded and these actors were in it?
Yeah.
I can do this. And that's kind of what, motivates me. But, like, I think that, like, does it. Bro. Jacob, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me, man.
No problem, bro. Thank you for pulling up. I mean, this is our first time back in almost 2 months. So thank you for waiting, everyone listening and watching. I know we're going to be coming back to consistent every weekend, every Monday uploads for this podcast. But we're looking to grow and make this. If you have any suggestions at all, you let us know in the comments. Shoot us a DM on Instagram at BreadUpPodcast. But anyways.
And I'm going to quick plug the film. The trailer's out. It's called When the Bell Rings. It's on Instagram, When the Bell Rings film. Watch the trailer, and the film's coming soon.
Yeah, forgot to plug that. Good plug. Yes, When the Bell Rings film on Instagram. WhenTheBellRingsFilm.com. You can watch it on the website. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. If you're listening, if you're watching, thank you for watching. Take care and have a great week. Peace out.
Peace.